fourth Thursday of the month. We want everybody here to come back on the fourth Thursday of next month and be part of the Hopkins County Republican Party. We are conservatives. We want less government and reasonable taxes. We are having a membership drive. Mr. Bill Watts over here is our membership chairman. We have a little kitty here that I saw Congressman Hall just add a little something to. He'll be sitting back there on the counter. If you want to become a member of the Hopkins County Republican Party, we want you to. A mere $25 will get you in for your annual membership dues. But most importantly, we want you to be involved, and we want you to take on one of these recently established committees that have been created and help us to grow this party so that we can continue to have outstanding candidates locally, statewide, and nationally. So if you can grow with us and be part of us, we would appreciate that very much. Yes, sir.
Mr. Cain, I'd like to ask you a question. I went to an advocacy training program one time that said each letter written to representative, they state that that's worth about 150 people's views. Now, it's not going to do us any good, right? Representative Congressman Hall here, you know, he already knows our views. And we're outnumbered in Washington right now. And he's got a bill there with a lot of tabs on it. I hadn't had time to read it all, but parts I have read, I'm not too fond of. I think we need reform. I think maybe we need to look at some of the reforms that Senator DeMint has written in his book on saving freedom. And but you know, one thing we could do. My first involvement in any type of politics was when I received a book from Congressman Wright Patman when I graduated from high school. And then later, when a fellow sergeant of mine in the Army was trying to get railroaded, you know, we wrote a bunch of letters to every congressman. His congressman, my congressman, you name it. Now, I got letters back from every one of them. Most of them said we need to contact your own congressman, your own district, and so forth. But if we flood those offices of Congressman Waxman and the Speaker of the House. Now, she's Speaker of the House. She's not just supposed to be Speaker of the Democratic Party. She's Speaker of the House. If they can give us the talking points, and Mr. Hughes told me to email him, if we can get those talking points, put them in the form of a short, sweet letter. My problem is I try to write books most of the time, but, you know, and identify some of the real concerns. You know, what's to say, you know, if we get under the H.R. 3200 that, you know, if when we get old and decrepit that we have to go on to a nursing home, you know, right now they'll take your, you know, they're going to take your resources anyway, you know, if you had instructed them differently. But if you go on to a government health insurance program, you know, that bill references the tax revenue code of such and such, whatever it is, and very possibly the same thing will happen there. You know, so if we can get those talking points, put them in the form of a letter, and if each one of us writes a letter, there's about 100 people here, and send it to the Speaker of the House, the majority leaders. I mean, you know, we're fighting a guerrilla war right now, if you want to say so, in politics, because we're outnumbered.
Well, let me address that, because that's a good point. We are at the technological pinnacle of our history. 20 years ago, when we wanted to get Congress to do something, we would write a letter. And you know, it takes time to write a letter, as you just said. You sometimes want to write a long letter. But folks, we can email, Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, MySpace, and we can do all of that in the same amount of time it takes to write a letter. And if you got internet access, you can find any kind of petition that you want to sign to send to Congress for any point. And you can do that in a matter of just a few minutes. And I'll be happy to share with any of you some of the things that are out there. But the main thing is, and this is one of the reasons that we're wanting people to get involved in the party, is that we frankly need to be drug kicking and screaming into the 21st century when it comes to technology. We need to know how to use email. We need to understand how to use Facebook to convey these issues, because we have strength in numbers. we are not going to get favor from the liberal press to point out some of the weaknesses in some of these proposals that the congressman just talked about. But we're making headway because of our protest and because of our banding together. And so we need to continue to do that in every form of technology that we can find so that we can let our voice be heard not only in this county and not only in this state, but at the national level. And we need to understand that we can do that if we use technology to our advantage. Folks, the congressman talked about health care, but look what's waiting in the wings. Cap and trade is still in the Senate. Hate crime is still in the Senate. Our Attorney General Eric Holder just last week filed a bill to repeal the Defense of Marriages Act, which basically was the federal law that was passed that said marriage is between one man and one woman, and states wouldn't have to honor the marriages, single-sex marriages from another state. Our Attorney General, who is supposed to be enforcing the laws of the United States, is filing briefs at the administration's unctioning to repeal them. So we've got a lot of fighting to do. We've made some headways because of what we're doing. The fight's not over. And I can tell you that the liberals were taken off guard and they were on their heels when Congress recessed because they didn't realize that we were going to raise the kind of voice that we've raised. But don't think they've given up. They're going to redouble their efforts and they're going to do everything they can to shove this kind of stuff down our throat. The fight has just begun. And we need to stay at it, not until we get frustrated, but until we win. So I encourage you, please join the party. Please get involved. Please get involved in one of these committees. We can make change, but we have to do it together. Talk to Bill. He's the membership committee director. Lock the doors till everybody talks to him, please. Folks, I want to thank you for coming out. Thank you, folks, for coming from other counties. Let me mention to you about the Health Care Forum. Carol, would you like to mention some things about that? Okay.
Yes, I just want to mention that Friday night is very important. If you can possibly be at the Civic Center, we will be holding the Town Hall Forum on government-run health care, at which we'll be speaking to doctors who have both worked on both sides of this fence. One from Canada who has experienced government-run health care there and will be telling what he has experienced and known before he moved to Mount Pleasant and established his practice in dermatology. The other is an internist in Mount Pleasant, and he went to the Virgin Islands and experienced government-run health care down there. They know what's in the bill. They've read the bill. They can talk about it. Everyone needs to hear this. And we need to keep this momentum going no matter what we think they may or may not do. We have elections coming. We cannot slow down. We have to be informed. We have to understand what's in these bills. We have to write these letters. And I have been told also that instead of emails, and I mean, that's all important, but handwritten letters do make a huge difference. And so we need to act in the short time that's left to let it be known that we do not like this, whether they push it down our throats or not. We do not like it. But whether they are listening or not, folks, people around you are watching you. There are a lot of people who didn't vote. There are a lot of people who wish they had voted differently. You need to let them see you out there learning and growing and listening. You need to bring people with you and stay involved. We cannot slow the momentum down. We have to keep it moving. So please come out Friday night and be present at this forum and hear, because you're going to love it. I mean, it is incredibly well done.
I just wanted to mention that AFA.com, which is American Family Association, great by Donald Wildman. He has talking points. He also has letters on the different issues. You can go on there and get his letter. You can add to it, take away from it. You can email it, mail it, whatever you want to do. Also, citizenlink.com by James Dobson is another great place to go to find out about the issues. He also has letters on there. But both of those are great places to go to get information about the issues.
Great. Everything you do is going to influence a few more people.